Welcome to Not a Great Whisperer podcast. This is your host, Katie Ray. I am joined with the amazing founder, owner, all the things of Addicted to Skin, Rochelle. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Thanks for joining. I feel like we've been talking about this for a couple months.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, so we finally made it happen. Super excited. I really just want to talk about your journey. I think you're super inspiring. I think you're real. And, you know, you just kind of talk about just being a business owner, how there's ups and downs, being a mom, all that fun stuff. So how did you get on your journey of being a business owner?
Man, it definitely was a long one. It's really interesting that we're kind of almost back into the same place. So just for those who don't know me, my name is Rochelle Brown. I'm the owner and operator of Addicted to Skin, the beauty and aesthetic studio. We are located on Central Avenue in St. Petersburg. So yeah, everyone always asks me, like, how did I kind of get into skincare and like the whole beauty industry? But as I was saying, ironically enough, last recession, so like 2008, 2009, I was doing like debt collections, and I was actually really good at it.
You're like, I can collect your money. Like,
yeah, it was a beast, but I loved it, and I was actually really good at it. I did that for about 4 years, but then the recession kind of started to come, and I started to feel the pinch. I'm like, I can't really be hounding people for money, and it's getting tight for me. Yeah. So I was also working part-time at the mall, like doing makeup and things like that. And I would always have like these little ladies come in, and they're like, oh, you know, like, how can I fix my wrinkles with makeup? And I'm like, that's not really how that works. So with me also kind of like in the transition period of wanting to get into another career, I kind of start looking around, and I was like, well, there's dermatologists, there's plastic surgeons. And I knew like I wasn't going to go back to school and do any of that. So yeah, I found out what an esthetician was. And I went to school. I worked for a few doctors here and there. And then 2018 is when I opened my first location.
While being a mom of three.
Yeah.
Which had to have been hard going back to school and stuff. So were you working still at the mall while you were going back to school?
So actually, well, this was actually prior to my last two. So at that time, I only had my oldest daughter, Alana. So 2010, so she was like 5-ish. Yeah. Is when I went back to school. So it was a little bit easier, and like I had lots of support with her, which was really good. And then
I love how we always downplay it. It's never easy to be a mom and do 100 things, but you're right. Yeah. How we do that, right? Like that was hard though.
Definitely. But fast forward. So I had my last child in 2015, and it's crazy different having like 3 kids and having to balance. And also at that time, my son was 3 when I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and open up my business. And it was a lot.
So he was 3 when you decided to jump into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And your oldest was?
My oldest at that time, my math is wrong. Yeah. So she was 10. She was 10 at that time.
I won't tell her if you forgot. It's fine. No big deal. Okay. So I think that's amazing. I think you're amazing. What is it? I mean, you're in St. Pete on Central Ave, which is awesome. What really gets you, like, what's your inspiration every day? Like, what is something you do every day? Or maybe just like on your challenging days, you're like, I got to turn to this for a little bit, because you have to kind of find that, right? Yeah, no, definitely.
With it being going into the 11th year now, it is, you know, I think with anybody in any industry, it's kind of hard to keep that steamroller going. So one of the things that I really look at is not the money, but the freedom that comes with that. And I just know like kind of where I want to be, and like, which is a really simple, modest lifestyle, but in order to just like be completely free. So that's one of the things that keep me going, and my children, of course, you know, and my passion for my clients. Like I've met so many amazing people just like over these years, and a lot of people think that skincare and aesthetics, like it's all like vanity,
No.
And it's really not. Like, I've really seen like so many transformations, been able to touch like so many people's lives, not even just like from a beauty standpoint, but you know, I'm like a mental health counselor.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, like we're helping each other. It's been amazing. So that's like one of my things. I absolutely love what I do because of my clients. Like, it's like, you know, we're sisters, we're, you know, cousins, we're all of that.
I love that. And do you still go to like events for like the beauty industry and things like that? So you just go in and kind of understand what's going on in the industry and stuff? Yes,
absolutely. So I definitely, I think that's one of the things to kind of keep you innovative and still in the conversation, right? Is like continuing like education and things like that. So because we are kind of like coming out of post-pandemic, those events and things are kind of rolling back around.
Yep.
So I'm definitely interested in getting back into.
That's cool. You could speak at those events. You should. What? So during COVID, because of like in person, what did you do? Like.
Yeah. So, like I said, 2018, I opened my location on the beach. It was a 2-year lease. So in the middle of the pandemic is when my lease was ending. I knew I didn't want to renew where I was. So like things are crazy. Everything's closed. I'm looking for a location. Can't really, find anything. No one's really wanting to come out and things. So in the midst of not being able to see clients, luckily I saved. So that's like a big thing. Yeah. I always tell people, I'm like, the beauty industry, it's usually all cash, right? So we have to be very, very disciplined with that. But I was able to find another location, and it was really cool because we did like some home skincare kits. So if you weren't comfortable with coming back into the office when things kind of opened back up, I was able to send you products. You can do your facials at home. So that was something that was really able to sustain my business. Yeah. What's
some of the things you do for like ongoing education? I know you have a ton of certifications and everything, and you've gone to school for all of your license, everything. But like, what's some of the things you do personally to just continue your education?
So I am kind of like, like when I'm super interested in something, I'm going to like research it forever. And it's really cool because social media is like a really, really cool tool. Yeah. So before you really had to, I think, make an effort to go out and find certain courses and things like that. Because I have been around so long, there's a lot that I do know about, but there's also a lot that I don't. So social media is like a really good tool. A lot of the vendors and things that I use, they have like their own like continuing education, and people are always like sending me stuff like, hey, did you know this, Rochelle? Hey, so that's really cool. But then, like you said, in addition to our license, we do have like continuing education things that we do. And they always send you things. So I'm like, hey, that's interesting,
Yeah. I'm gonna look this up.
Let's look that up.
What's some of the messages you always want your clients to kind of leave with, or how you want them to feel when they leave?
So a lot of my clients, just because of what their issues normally are, so a lot of acne and things like that, and a lot of people are just like, oh, just wash your face and it's going to go away. And really, it's it's not so simple, basically, right? So I like my clients to walk away feeling hopeful. Because a lot of people have dealt with this their whole entire lives, or I have a lot of people who never had acne as a teenager, a young adult, and then now they're in their 30s, 40s, and things are popping up. So yeah, I like everyone to leave hopeful, inspired, encouraged, all of the above, really. Yeah. Just like feeling overall better. And let them remind them, hey, like things are bigger out there. I know you look at your face every day. That's like my biggest thing. Like, I know you look at your face every day, but it's really not that bad, you know, in comparison to, a lot that's going on.
Well, yeah, especially with so much stress in this world right now, you have to be getting a lot of, when people come in, I'm assuming, this is me guessing because I'm not a licensed professional, that stress also impacts your skin. So you have to kind of be that mental health counselor, and like not a way like that, but you're there to listen and understand where all these factors are coming in.
Yes, definitely. So when they come in, we normally do a new client intake. And it goes over, like if you're on current medications, but more importantly, it goes on what your lifestyle is. So it's like, if you have a stressful lifestyle, then that's probably contributing to, some of your acne issues. If you're outdoors all the time, like there's all these different things that are contributing factors to your skin health and your overall health.
So you're learning about people's lives while you're helping them. You're like, yeah, and I love it. Yeah. And does it, so I always wonder, your location, do you get walk-ins a lot?
No. So my location is not really, a foot traffic area, because it is on the main road there. A lot of my business really comes from online. Yeah.
Which is cool. And do you, it's been 11 years you've owned the business now?
So I've only owned the business since 2018.
But you've been doing this.
I've been doing it. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to see your progression? Right. On the hard days, I always tell people so 11 years you've been in this industry, but now you're owning a business for 3 years. Like back when you started, did you imagine this?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy to look back because when I went into this, I didn't really go into it with the idea of entrepreneurship. I knew it was something I could do. In fact, when we were in school, we had to do a whole business plan if we had a business and what have you, and which is really funny because it rolled over into my new business. Yeah. So it's really funny because I was like, oh, I already got a business plan.
Did it.
Just had it checked off.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And my teacher was so amazing back then. But yeah, it's really funny. And sometimes I'm always like, how am I here? Little imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
pops
always.
Up, but yeah, I love it.
How do you get out of that? You're like, I'm here.
Woo. I get out of it when someone will just pop up and maybe ask me a professional question. And I'm like, no, roll it off.
And
you're
like, because I know this shit.
I do know what I'm doing here, And so, yeah, I think that, knowledge is power, and that also exudes your confidence. So you kind of kick that out of your head. But I think everybody pops up with a little imposter syndrome. Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah, it's not going to work. Who am I kidding?
It's just getting it out of your head.
Yeah.
You told me something about Deion Sanders' quote that you like to live by.
Yes.
Would you like to share that with everyone?
I absolutely love that quote, which is I've had such a frazzled moment and it is not on the top of my head. I'm so sorry.
I'll tell you it. Don't even worry about it. I totally stumped you. You're like, damn it, Katie. What kind of shit is that?
It has been a really great morning, but a busy morning.
Hey,
as well.
You're a mom and you have many hats. What are all your hats?
Oh my goodness. So yes. So I am a mom. I'm an entrepreneur, but on top of that as well, I also do, I also audit medical records, which
wow.
I love, so that's.
You love the medical field.
I love the medical field.
Yeah.
Love. Always loved healthcare. If I were smarter, I would have went on to be a doctor.
You are smart.
Or something. I mean, if
smart.
I were at that time.
Yeah.
Right?
You're like, if I had gone into med school, we would have been doing that.
If it was a little bit taller.
Sometimes I think that song too.
Yes.
I wish I was a little bit taller. But yeah, that's really cool. You do that. I mean, it also keeps your knowledge sharpened.
Yes.
Super sharpened.
Yeah.
When it's medical, it's everywhere though, right? All medical field stuff. That's so awesome.
Yeah. So, so I actually work for Detroit Medical Center, which is really interesting because that's where I'm from. And yeah, so it keeps me in the know of, certain things that kind of pop up, and also too, it really does blend into what I do as well. Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Oh, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really, I did not know that about you, and that's super awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what the quote is now. If you look good,
yes.
you feel good, and if you feel good, you play good. Yes. But you use it in the game, not football.
Yes. Yeah. So absolutely love football, and I totally believe in that. When you look good, you feel good. That's just how it is. There's nothing like that new lipstick or that new dress or that new skirt that really kind of boosts everything for you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And when you walk in the room, people can tell, that confidence just kind of falls off of you,
Hell yeah. I love that. So what do you feel like? So you're from Detroit, Michigan.
I am.
But you've lived in Clearwater, Tampa your entire life?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Growing up?
Yeah.
How old were you when you moved?
So middle schoolish.
Yeah. I mean, so you remember living there. I was super young when I moved from New York. So I was the youngest of the four. So my older siblings are always like, you're not from there. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I literally see, I'm like, I'm pretty much a Floridian.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. When you just grow up, and I know.
Exactly.
I know. But I do think it's cool that you have grown here. I like, you know, because you know the area, right? And you really know the community, you know the people around you, and you just like have grown while being in a certain area. What do you think the biggest challenge has been, though?
As challenge as far as
just growing in this community, like in Florida, in Hillsborough, or Pinellas, whichever area.
So I think that the biggest challenge has been like in this industry wise. I think that this area is like a little bit slower. I was actually talking to a friend about this the other day. So I'm also licensed in a couple other states. I'm licensed in Georgia as well. So prior to me opening my business, I was actually working for a plastic surgeon in Atlanta. So I was flying back and forth every week. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to say? You're just like, nope, I was doing it.
And it was like, and I loved it. But at the same time, it was like a lot, which is what prompted me to really kick into my business. But at that time, that was like 2017-ish. Like Atlanta's just a busier city, right? So people kind of like, it's Tuesday, I'm going to go get my makeup done. Like they just
during the week and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like a busier self-care. So I think that as far as like industry growing here, it's definitely catching on now. Everyone's about self-care. But it wasn't as busy initially. Yeah, and I think that also kind of goes along with like being known as well. So.
Yeah. So how many places are you licensed in?
So I am licensed in Florida, Georgia, and California.
That's so cool. So could you do like consulting with people virtually in those areas?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that I could. I think that I don't think there's really like a general rule on consulting. So
any area then.
Yeah. I think so. My long-term goal with that was is I want to get into like film and magazines and things like
cool.
that. Yeah, so it's like a lot of states are really finicky. Like even if you're just coming in, they want you to be licensed. So that was like my big thing with California.
That was cool. Are you still going to do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right?
You're like question mark.
As long as there's tomorrow, right?
I love that. That's a really cool goal to have. Yeah. And I always like big picture because you're doing big things, but to always have like another like thing to strive for too.
Yeah, definitely.
So what did that like just add extra classes to your courses?
No, really. So it's really just like a PR situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just kind of like getting in contact with the right people to put you in. Yeah. Put you in contact with us. Yeah. Because I'm trying to be on the doctors.
You're like, I'm everywhere here. I'm also going to get flown in to the fact that you were working. That's why I'm like to have that experience under your belt. You're like, Atlanta's busier. Why? Because I flew in every week. And I knew that because
it was, and I'm going to say like, really, I did feel like low-key important.
Yeah. I'm kind of a big deal. That I know it is really cool to just do that.
Yeah, no. And the plastic surgeon I worked for, she was amazing. So that was a really good opportunity.
Oh yeah. And you learned a lot in that experience too.
Definitely.
I feel like you have really good mentors.
Yeah. So you know what? I've had like mentors, but not official mentors.
Yeah. So I mean, there's good people in your like in your corner.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You should be a mentor.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I probably should.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why I do this. What? There's that imposter syndrome again.
Stop telling me good things about myself, Katie. I'm done with this.
No, like literally a friend was like, take the compliment. And I'm like,
take it. Right. I think it's really important too, because just having, strong women, I met you at an event. Well, I met you through, of course, your brother and your sister-in-law, but through an event and just like connecting with people and other just badass, strong women. And I think it's really important just to continue that for the generations. But I mean, we sound old when we say generations behind us, but we're not. Like, do you know what I mean though? Just because you're much younger than me. But
I don't think so. Actually.
Yeah, I'm like 108 years old.
Well,
does my skin look good?
106, so yeah, I'm right behind you.
Does my skin look great? But I think it is important when you find people that like have done it, have the experience of things. It's cool. we don't realize the impact we have on younger generations.
Yeah, no. And really, to your point, to like shout out to you, because you literally left like a lasting impression on me. Like the first time I heard you speak, I'm like, she is like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to be like that. Like I love that.
Oh, thank you. I will take that compliment. Yeah. But this is about you today.
I love it.
I will own that. Yeah, I think it's important to remind people like who they are.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you can be exactly who you are in your skin, and you're addicted to skin. Yes. But that was a good marketing scheme, you know. But what are some of the things you want people to take away from our interview?
I want people to take away the fact that literally, if you dream it, I know this sounds like so cliche.
No, I love little like lame cliche things because they're true and it's just like fun to hear.
Yeah. I mean, if you dream it, it can literally happen. And like I just said, like that business plan, right? And at that time I was like, oh, this is so much work. And, like going through the motions. Yeah. I'm like, none of this applies to me right now. But because I kind of like laid that stone back then and took it serious, like it helped me long term, right?
Isn't that awesome to look at though?
Yeah. So I want people to take away that a lot of the times we get focused on I need to do a big thing to make an imprint right now. Like, no, like take little steps, and those little steps will add up to, a big step. And then you're like, wow, here I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, just do it at your own rate. Crawl, skip.
Yeah, I think I would like to skip. I'm a big fan of it. Gets me there faster. But you know what? I always tell people how I get super excited for podcast recording days because I get to hear everybody's story and but that inspires me too because there's like little things I'm working on and you see big, but you're like not there yet and you're like, shit. But it's like the little steps get you there. Like just keep walking, like just keep skipping there.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people see, the aftermath of it and they're like, oh my gosh, like you're so amazing. Like I want to do that. And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't easy.
This shit was not that easy.
Yeah. And it's so true what they say, like overnight success took like 10 years, plus for, like certain people. So, and I by far am like, not a success.
You're awesome. Yes, you are.
So yeah,
you're doing it every day. It's like, how do we take our own advice sometimes, right?
True. So true. Yeah. But no, I want people to take away to continue. Just keep moving. Just keep.
You're right. You're like, that's what I'm doing all the time. Yeah. And I love that too. That you're real about it. Not where you are like, I'm not successful or things like that. I just feel like you're real. Like it takes hard work. I got to get out of my own head sometimes because that's what people worry about because they see they see a social media reel, I always say, or like something and it's like, oh, that's perfect. They're doing this. And you're like, it's not that easy. Like you are going to struggle. Like you're going to get through it. You're going to challenge yourself. You're going to do things. And that's important for you to.
That's completely true. I think that, log off of social media sometimes.
Right.
Because it is a dream killer. Because you're literally looking at people. And a lot of the times people think that followers equates to dollars and it doesn't.
No.
So it's like, just
like not at all. Actually, I have. No, because like I have friends that have like these smallest pages, but they're doing amazing things, and it's so crazy to me because someone will like look at a page and be like, well, they have 10,000 followers. So it's like, no. And honestly, are there real people in there? Like, are there like real good connections in there? That's my thing. I love having like real connections. That's my jam.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, especially the way that they manipulate the internet and the algorithm and things like that. So it's like a lot of the times that does not matter. So,
and I totally believe in like shutting off too. And do you take your rest days when you know you need them? Just doing so many things.
I take my rest days. I might take a little bit more sometimes.
Good. Isn't it hard though to get out of that guilt in the beginning when you felt super guilty if you weren't like pushing 100 hours in a day?
No, I literally was like that because I tend to be like a bit more high strung anyway. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't do anything today. I felt like, nothing got accomplished. And at the same time, like it was not healthy for me. It's really weird because I kind of I like doing things last minute. Yeah. But also I don't like functioning under stress.
Yeah, isn't that so funny? It's like I'm spontaneous. I don't like this. I feel very comfortable. Yeah, like it's so weird.
It's almost like that's totally me because I feel like I work my best under that, but I don't. I mean,
yeah, you don't want. Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely take your days.
Yeah.
Your rest days. You have to. Because if you're not healthy and you're not happy within yourself, then you can't do that for anyone else, especially if you're in a service-based type of industry.
Oh yeah, you're preaching that to all of your clients.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wait, I also need a break.
Yeah, no, really. And energy is like super transferable. People can pick up on that. I'm a firm believer in that. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All the energy. All right. Where can we find you, Rochelle?
So you can find me across the board at Addicted to Skin.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So Instagram, Facebook, Addicted to Skin, the Beauty and Aesthetic Studio, Twitter, Addicted to Skin. Yeah, that's where
all of it. And you drop knowledge on there and openings and all that with your hours.
I do, yeah. So hours are all on there. You can book on there. You can see a few of the services that kind of happen. Cool. And also too, we're pretty responsive. So if you have questions or anything like that, you can always just send us a DM and we usually get back with you within the day.
Slip into your DMs.
Yeah. Always. It goes down in the DMs.
Shut up. All right. Well, you can find Rochelle at Not a Great Whisperer podcast page, at The Real K-Ray. We are at BKN Creative Studios. You were a pleasure to have on. Thanks for finally doing this.
I know. I'm so happy I did.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thanks for being on. Bye.